Hi everyone, welcome to the Grow with Google. My name is Beth, I'm from the Somerset County Library, and today I'm going to share with you some awesome Google apps. So Grow with Google is an initiative to help people learn digital skills, prepare for jobs they enjoy, and use their creativity and passion through hands-on computer science activities. In today's workshop, you will create a professional resume like this one. A resume is a valuable tool that can help you apply for jobs, internships, schools, and special programs or scholarships. A resume gives readers, like potential employers or school search committees, a first impression of you. It describes your qualifications and explains who you are. It should be error-free, easy to read, and effectively provides a snapshot of how you spend your time. Even if you don't plan to use a resume right away, organizing your experiences and listing your qualifications are useful steps to prepare for any future need. In this workshop, you will brainstorm experiences that make your resume unique to you. You will add your own background, skills, education, and experiences to highlight your individual strengths using a template in Google Docs. You will create a first draft of your resume. Then, you will revise your resume to make it even stronger and more interesting to potential employer or educator. By the end of this activity, you will be able to select and use Google Docs template, format different sections of the document, and download a document as a specific file type to send in an email. You will leave the workshop with a professional resume you can send to potential schools and jobs. Let's get started. First, sign into your Google account. And I'm going to stop sharing this screen and move to see I have my Google Chrome window open, and I'm already signed into my Google account. You can see my little icon there. If you don't have a Gmail account, let us know. We'll be happy to help you set one up. And to sign in or to access Google Docs, all you need to do is click on the little waffle-shaped thing for the Google Apps. Once you bring that up, you can click on Google Drive, which stores your documents, or you could open up Google Docs from the app. And I'll show you how to access from Google Drive. From Google Drive, click on New. Oops. Wait a minute. Okay, I want New Google Doc. I'm going to click on that. And I can select either blank document or from a template. And for this exercise, we're going to start from a template. And you can see they have several different options for resumes. So you can pick one that looks like it fits your personality or the job that you're looking for. If you're looking for applying for a professional position, you might want something that looks really professional. If it's something more casual, it can be a little less structured. And I'm just going to choose one. And as soon as you open up a document in your Google Cloud, that document starts being saved to your Google Drive. So any changes that you make, you don't have to worry about hitting save. They're already saved for you. And the first thing I'm going to do is change the name of the document. So go up here and click on the resume. And actually, I want to keep the resume part of it. But I will type my name in. And that way, when you send your file to potential employers or to a potential school, they will know from looking at the file name that this is your resume. Okay, so after you've signed into your Google account, use the Google Apps menu to move between applications. Taking a look at Google Drive. You've started a new document. Okay, when you save something to the Google Drive, you can easily access it from any computer. So you can access it from any computer, smartphone, or tablet, as long as you have internet access. The files stored on Google Drive won't get lost, even if your computer crashes. And the projects you create with Google applications are all stored automatically on your Google Drive, so you don't have to remember to click Save. So today we're going to start working on a basic resume. And you can always come back later and make some edits and tweak it a little bit with any device connected to the internet. So a resume is a written document that highlights your education, work experience, activities, and skills. Most resumes include sections that contain this information. And let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so the different sections of a resume. Resumes can be formatted in different ways, but most resumes will include similar information. A typical resume includes several sections. Your contact information, because you want that potential employer to be able to get in touch with you. Your work experience. Your education history. Skills and abilities. And activities and awards. There. So that's a lot of information to include in one document. And a strong resume will also look professional, organized, and easy to read. It may seem difficult to gather all this information and arrange it so that it makes a good impression. What if you don't have many design skills? Or maybe you don't feel comfortable formatting this on the computer. Just use a template to structure your resume. A template is like a guide for building your document. Templates provide standard layout design and formatting elements. They provide a consistent starting point for your projects. Many documents, such as project proposals, Meeting agendas, business letters, and resumes follow a similar layout or design. Templates help you save time when you're writing because they are already formatted with the proper layout. All you have to do is fill in the appropriate information. Google Docs offers lots of free professional resumes to get you started. The layout, fonts, and colors are different for each template, but they all contain the same basic information that you'll need for a resume: your contact information, skills, experience, and education, as well as accomplishments or projects you've completed. After you select a template, you can customize the document from there. Choose a template you like now, so you can begin creating a polished resume. So you go ahead and open up your Google Docs and choose a template. Just keep in mind, this is just a draft. It does not have to be perfect. Okay, once you've selected your resume template you'll use for your first draft, give this document a name. As I showed you a little bit earlier, I named mine Beth Horning Resume. And this becomes the file name and is the way that you will find the document in your Google Drive. As soon as you open this doc, it is saved automatically to your Google Drive. You do not have to do anything extra to save your projects. They save automatically as soon as you make changes to the document. Okay, once we have started our resume, we picked a template, we've renamed it. Next, we're going to start customizing this template so that it's unique to you. So in the resume template, update your contact information. And let me switch my screen again. Okay, so to customize this, you're going to highlight where it says your name and left click in front of hold down that left mouse button and just drag the mouse until you've highlighted the entire section. Alternatively, you could click in front of press the Shift key, click after name, and that will also highlight that selection. So I will start typing in my name. And go ahead and change your street address and your email address. Make sure you're using a professional sounding email. In one of our other classes we talk about setting up an email address. And for instance, beer drinking hillbilly at gmail.com might not be something that you want to put on your professional resume. So if you don't have an email set up just for your professional purposes, you can go ahead and create another account using Gmail. And you can have that account specifically for anything that you do with job searches. All right, so make sure you include your address, your phone number, and email. And present yourself professionally, use an email address that is easy to read, relatively short, and avoids too many words or symbols unrelated to your name. So something simple, like in my case, I might have bethhorning@gmail.com. If you need to add a number or something after it because somebody else already has that address, you can do so, but just keep it simple and professional. Okay, so go ahead and make your changes. Okay, next we're going to delete the job title. And people applying for a specialized job will usually include this. Include a title if you like, but it is not required. So you can highlight that and then just delete it. If you want, you can add a job title if you have one. Change your company name. And the location. And just double click that word. And you'll want to put in when you started at this position. Let's see, mine was January 2020 to present. That's why this is a good idea to, whenever you get a new position, go ahead and update your resume with all the pertinent information of when you started, what you're doing, what your title is. That way, when the time comes for you, if you decide to move on and you need to submit your resume, you don't have to stop and think, okay, when did I start? What was I doing? Other good information. Also, if you have to get clearances for anything, I'm telling my people, keep a copy of your clearances. That way you have them and you don't have to go through all that again. Okay. Now let me switch back to the presentation. This is what our contact information will look like. Explain work experience in education. So you'll need the name of your employer. The type of work you did, the location, the dates of employment, and the description of what you did. So under the experience section that is already built into the template, brainstorm 2 or 3 work experiences you've had. Resume readers want to see whether your experience is relevant to the position you are applying for. If you haven't had a paying job yet, that's okay. You can include related experience such as volunteer work, community service, regular household chores, or classroom responsibilities like taking attendance or participating in a group assignment. Even hobbies such as writing a blog or taking photographs could be relevant. Include any role that required responsibility and initiative in your brainstorming document. For each experience, include the name of the employer, the type of work, the location, dates of employment, and description of what you did. Add 2 or 3 experience items to your brainstorming document now, and use the existing formatting of the template to keep your resume looking consistent and professional. Remember that this is only a draft. You can always edit these descriptions or add more later. So go ahead and Make some changes to the template and let's start adding your work experience. And you can see the example on the presentation slide here. This person's work experience included babysitting. So any odd jobs that you might do, even if you don't have a job at a big company, you can count that as work experience, especially when you're just starting out. Okay, so now we're going to include measurable details about your experience, like how often you worked, how much you accomplished during each shift, or how many items you completed over the course of the project. So spend 2 or 3 minutes adding details like these to each of your job descriptions. Employers will use these descriptions to understand your experiences. Okay, once you've done that, next we will list your education history. Type the name of your current school, list the school's location, the month and year you started, your expected graduation date, and your GPA. If you're not sure how to find your GPA, you can ask your teacher how to find that. You probably have it listed on your report card if you have a copy of that. And as with the other sections of this resume, you're going to keep this section in the same formatting provided by the template. So the design of your resume is clean and professional. If you're enrolled in an academic pathway or vocational track at school, include that as well. In this example, they're enrolled in the Arts and Humanities career path. They've listed their anticipated date of graduation. So they might be applying for a position for once they've completed their school, and the employer will want to know when they'll be available. If you're transferred from another school, add your previous school to your brainstorming document. And just take a few minutes to finish adding in your education history. Okay, so your resume should start to look something like this. And remember, this is just a draft. You can always go back and edit it later. Your resume will be unique to you, so it's okay if it doesn't look exactly like this. For example, if you've only attended one school, you may only list one institution under education. Or if you have worked a series of odd jobs, your work experience section may include more entries. Okay, next we will add skills, activities, and awards. So turn your attention to the section called Skills. Here you will list the useful abilities that you didn't specifically mention in the experience section. List skills that make you a good student, employee, friend, or sibling. Include both hard and soft skills. Hard skills are technical and job-specific skills and abilities. They include things like typing, playing an instrument, speaking a foreign language, or using specialty tools or software applications. Being able to use a word processing program such as Google Docs, using spreadsheets. You're involved in graphic design, any certifications that you've obtained. So think about the skills that you have. Okay, and soft skills are personal qualities that may relate to how you interact with others. And they can include things as effective communication, being a problem solver, relating well to people, or being cooperative or a team player. Here's a list of other soft skills. Being customer service oriented. If you're trying to find a position in retail, or any job really, customer service is very important. Are you dependable? Are you a quick worker? Are you able to follow instructions? So take a few minutes and think about any of these skills that may apply to you. Pause and think about what you're good at. List a combination of 5 to 7 hard and soft skills. If you need help thinking of skills, open a new tab and search the internet for examples. I don't know, when I work on my resume, sometimes it's hard to think about what it is you do well. It's like you don't want to come off as sounding as if you're bragging or anything, but yeah, I'm pretty good at doing this and such. So you may have to turn to a friend or a family member that knows you well and can say, hey, you're really good at listening. You're a really good listener, and people appreciate that. So now let's try a challenge. To complete the skills section, choose a few skills relevant to a position you might apply for. Edit your skills list to match the job description. When your skills match the requirements of the position, you are more likely to grab your resume reader's attention. If you already have a job, you know what you want to apply for. Open a new tab in your browser and find the job description. Or if you don't have a specific job in mind, use this example. So this job description for a ticket taker. Rodney Community Field takes great pride in providing a safe and fun venue for various community events throughout the year. Job experience is not always necessary, but applicants must display a good work ethic, sense of teamwork, and a willingness to help strengthen our community through the dynamic and diverse field of parks and recreation. So you see they're highlighting those skills that they're looking for. Ticket taker would be responsible for greeting patrons, taking tickets, and providing customer service during sporting events. Customer service should be one of those highlighted skills. Movies on the field, festivals, or concerts. Primary responsibilities. Greet patrons as they enter the field. And if you're greeting patrons, I guess you don't want to be like, hi. You want to be, hi, welcome to the field. Welcome to Rodney Community Field. So I would say being cheerful would be a good skill quality there. You would distribute programs or event schedules, check tickets for valid admission, and identify fraudulent tickets. So being observant would be a good skill for that. Become familiar with various event layouts, show patrons where to find exits, bathrooms, and concession stands, answer customer questions, help parents find lost children, provide emergency instructions, clean ticket area, and place debris and trash receptacles at the end of the shift. Okay, so the ability to work on a team and willingness to help others. They want somebody with a good work ethic, somebody that is able to interact with the public and keep the area clean. Now, return back to your resume draft and using this job description or a description for a job you might want, type in the skills that describe your best qualities and align most closely to the job posting. You might keep some of the skills you already listed, or you may think of new skills that apply to this particular job. So each resume is going to be unique to not only you, but unique to the position that you're going to be applying for. So if you're applying for a position working in a civic center, for example, your skill cares about the community would be a good fit for your resume. Take a few minutes and remember this is just a draft. You can always edit it later. And just focus on choosing both hard and soft skills that will make your resume stand out. Okay, moving on. The last section that we'll look at is awards and activities. So think about your extracurricular activities and your accomplishments. Maybe you worked on the school yearbook, were recognized for a hobby, or earned an award at your job. You might also list sports, clubs, contests, performances, or student government. Only include awards and activities from the past 3 or 4 years. You can choose to list only awards in this section or include a mix of awards and activities and update the header to match. Make the header in all capital letters so it's consistent with the template. And take a few minutes to list 3 to 5 awards and activities. But don't spend too much time brainstorming. You can always add more information later. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Okay, at this point, you've made a great start on your resume. You have brainstormed your work history, skills, and experiences, and you have started to format your resume with a template. You have added your contact information and chosen skills to highlight for a particular job. Now let's fill in the remaining sections of your resume to complete your first draft. Write the company name, location, and job title. So read your experience section again and include any information you didn't write as you were brainstorming your work history. So update the company name with your employer, the location, and your job title. Use the existing formatting, then add the dates you worked there. If you are still working there, write your start date, a hyphen, and then present. So let's take a few minutes and review your work experience. Next, review the description of each job. If you haven't already, split the information into bullets like you see here. Use active verbs to describe the actions you performed. So for example, in this example on the screen, you see prepare, greeted, washed, contributed. Others could be managed, coordinated, created, founded, planned, built, tracked, and mentored. Next, think about the verb tense, right? In the present tense for work that you are still doing. For example, prepare lunch, dinner, and snacks. Terry is still doing this job, so she still prepares the lunch. And things that you've done in the past, you would use the past tense. So in the past, Terry has greeted customers. Terry has washed cars. So take a minute and just look at your verb tenses, make sure they're matching. Then finally take a look at how you describe your jobs. Include complete phrases for each bullet point in your list of experiences, but leave out pronouns like I or me. As you can see here, the resume says washed and dried, not I washed and dried. Take a couple minutes to finish filling out the rest of the experience section in your resume. And I'm going to switch back over to my Google Doc. And this format's a little bit different than some. Okay, so I want to put in my skills here. And I want to make sure that it's bulleted. So to do that, I'm going to go up here on the toolbar and select the bulleted list. And that's going to put a bullet in front of everything that I type here. Oops, misspell. Efficient workspace. So again, if you want to make sure you have bullets in front of your descriptions, you're going to highlight your text and click bullet list. And you can actually choose different types of bullets, but I would keep it consistent throughout your resume. So if you choose the circle, stay with the circle throughout the entire resume. If you choose the little diamond thing, make sure you keep that. Make sure you use the diamond throughout your entire resume. But in general, I would keep it simple. Makes it a whole lot easier for a potential employer to read. And you can see how using the bullets does help make it easier to read the text versus the text that's down here. Okay, let me go back to the presentation. Okay. So next we'll move on to the education and awards sections. And reread your education section to make sure all the details are included. Do the same process to complete the awards section. And you can change the title to awards and activities if that fits your experience better. So spend a few minutes now completing the education section and adding your awards and activities. Okay, at this point in the workshop, you have completed a draft of your resume by adding your contact information, work experience, education, history, skills, and awards. Next, edit your resume and make formatting changes so it is more polished and professional. Resumes influence the way a potential employer perceives you. They allow someone to quickly learn about you and determine whether you might be a good fit for the job. Correct spelling, active verbs, and appearance all make a big impact. Keep in mind, resumes should be short and concise. They don't include every responsibility from every job. Once you get an interview, you can use that opportunity to go into more detail about yourself. But your resume should showcase your best and most relevant accomplishments. To start editing and formatting your resume carefully, read through each section. Make sure the bullet points and descriptions are in the correct sections. And take a few minutes to do that. Next, check your grammar for complete sentences and phrases in proper punctuation. A single typographical or grammatical error can prevent you from getting an interview. And spell check does not always find every mistake. For instance, you have those words that sound alike. The difference between your and your, such as you are versus a possessive, yours, your. So check for those sort of errors. And then look for strong action verbs and clear descriptions. Those strong action verbs that make you stand out. In a one-page resume, every word counts. If there are places where you could pick a more appropriate phrase or use fewer words to say the same thing, choose a more precise word or concise phrasing. When you have finished proofreading your resume, make formatting changes, if necessary, so that the text fits on one page and is well spaced. For example, you might cut unnecessary words, change bullets into paragraphs, reduce line spacing, or reduce font sizes. And let me go back to my Google Doc. If I want to change the line spacing, I would highlight the area that I wanted to change the spacing on. And go up to this icon here that has the up and down arrow next to the 4 lines. Click on that. And 1.5 would be larger than 1.3. The double would be even larger. And a 1.15 would be smaller, and then you have like a single space. Say I want to change the 1.3 to a single space. That would bring the text closer together so that I would be able to fit more text on the page. Now, if you don't have a whole lot of experience and you wanted to make it look as if you had more experience, you could do the opposite by increasing the line spacing. If you wanted to change bulleted points to paragraph, oops, they highlight just that. You would click on the bulleted icon, and then it would change back to being a paragraph. And if you wanted to change the font size, you would highlight the area that you wanted to change the font on. Come up here, you can change the type of font that you're using. If you want to make your headings bolder or to stand out so it's easier to see what section is what section. You can change the font. You can change the font size by changing the number here. And the larger the number, the larger the font size. Okay, when you are finished, go ahead and run the spell check. And to do that, let's see, where is spell check? Go to Tools, Spelling and Grammar, and we'll do a spelling and grammar check. And already it's discovered Maria. And if that was correct, you could say accept that, or if you wanted to change it, it gives you an option of what to change it to. You could accept that change, you could ignore the change, or set up your own personal dictionary with your own personal words. If there's words that you use in the job that you do that are not common, you could add your own dictionary. So take a few more minutes, read over your resume, edit and format, and that is the start of our resume. And it might be helpful to have somebody else read it and see what they think. As I said earlier, sometimes when I'm writing about myself, it's a little weird. And somebody else might have a better perspective than I do. Okay. So finally, you're ready to share your resume. You want to send it out to a potential employer or download it. You can print it out. Or if you go to File, you can share. And you can share this link with people in groups. So you can add in their email addresses if you knew it. You could file, you can email is an attachment. You can download the document, you can download it into different types of documents. So if you are sending it out to somebody, they might not have the Google Docs, but they might have Microsoft Word. So you can save it as a Microsoft Word document. You can also save it as a PDF, which is a pretty common document. So most everybody can read a PDF file. And then you'd be able to attach that document into an email to send to a potential employer. Okay, so today we created a resume that communicates relevant information about you using a Google Docs template. You selected a resume template from the Google Docs template gallery, updated your contact information, created a work experience section, described your education history, identified your skills, and listed your awards. You then formatted and edited your resume by making changes to the text and layout. So now you have the tools that you can create a professional resume for any kind of job or experience. You can choose the appropriate template, format, and wording to make your accomplishments stand out and give yourself a better chance of being selected for an interview. Resumes are not limited to job searches. They can be used for college applications, scholarships, internships, and a variety of other purposes. They can and should be modified to address the specific requirements of each situation. So have fun creating a unique, effective, and professional-looking resume for your future applications. And I do want to share with you a couple books that you can find at the library. Let me turn my camera on. Okay. So we have several different books available at the library, and these can be helpful for giving you examples of different resumes, cover letters that can inspire you for writing your own resume. And this one is the only resume and cover letter book you'll ever need. So they say. Here we have 175 high-impact cover letters. And actually, I'll be covering cover letters next week. So you can join me then and watch a video that goes into cover letters. And then this is one of my favorite books, Resumes for Dummies. Don't laugh. The Dummies books are awesome. They explain things very clearly. They even have wow words for office support. So if you're stuck for those action verbs, Resumes for Dummies has action verbs that you can use in your resumes. So those are just a few of the books that we have available here at the library. You can check them out and use them in creating your own resume. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask us. We'd be happy to help you out. Thank you. Bye.